الصادق الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, now we speak about the first section, in Sirah, which first we speak about the lineage of the Prophet ﷺ, Nasab, we call it in Arabic. And this is not something special for the Prophet ﷺ, because as the Prophet ﷺ said, all prophets and messengers, they will be at the top, of the lineage of their tribe or their families, and this is well accepted for many purposes. Some of them they are well known to us, the other they are not known to us. When I look at it, the first look I look at it, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described it when He said in the Holy Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَى آدَمَ وَنُوحًا وَآلَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ وَآلَ عِمْرَانَ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. These are persons, they are selected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam carried on in completing the chain when he said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ اصْطَفَى مِنْ وَلَدِ إِسْمَاعِيلَ كِنَانَةً وَاصْطَفَى مِنْ كِنَانَةَ قُرَيْشًا. This is the tribe of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَاصْطَفَى مِنْ قُرَيْشٍ بَنِي هَاشِمٍ. This is the subsection of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَاصْطَفَانِي مِنْ بَنِي هَاشِمٍ. This what does tell us, logically what I understand, those people of the family of the Prophet ﷺ, they are high in their characters, they are noble, they have certain specialties, and the way, this may not be everything, it may not be the whole story, the complete story of this, but this remind me that when the Prophet ﷺ conquered Mecca, he asked the people who were really bad against him for 21 years, what do you think I'm going to do with you? If I'm surprised about the question, I'm more surprised about the answer. They said, only decency, because you are Akhum Kareem wa ibn Akhim Kareem. Akhum Kareem, this should be well understood for all of us, because we know the great characters of the Prophet ﷺ, which has been mentioned by Allah, وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praised the greatness of the characters of the Prophet ﷺ. But to say, وَابْنُ أَخٍ كَرِيمٍ, this tells me that even he descended, he came from a family, they are Kareem. I don't translate it here as generous one, no. I translate as noble, okay, because sometimes in Kareem in Arabic doesn't mean only generosity, means all these characters that everyone look forward to have or everyone is interested in. Okay, so here the description of those people who were well experienced with him, even though they were his enemy, but he was raised up, among them, and they know him very well, they know him his family, and they know all the surrounding. When they describe him, why they have this good expectation from his side? Because he has this noble personality, as our brother, they said, and you are the son of such a noble personality. This is one of the main reasons, about it. You may have other reasons, especially in the tribal system, the protection is going to come from the family. There's no police, no army, nothing, no law, only tribal system. In the tribal system, the family is going to protect anyone, any family member. When you have a person from a weak family, this is going to create a lot of damage and hurt to himself, to the person himself, and to his religion and to his invitation. When he has such a strong family, they are going to be quite supportive to him, and that's what happened, in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Even though we have a split. Okay, the section of the Prophet ﷺ called Bani Abd Manaf, they did not all of them support him, You have a split, two of these subsection, Hashim and Muttalib, they supported him, and two others subsection, they did not support him. And even his uncle, Abu Lahab, he joined the other subsection, and I was against him. And this, for sure, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best protective, of his messenger, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create causes, create reasons, for something. And this is, I look at it as one of the greatness of the Prophet ﷺ, to have very ordinary life, which in the same time is very great and extraordinary. To have them, together, okay, this is one of the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because here when you look at the reasons, you find it, you find these reasons, they are reasonable one. Here you don't have miracles, you don't have anything. Most of the aspect, not all of it, most of the aspect of the life of the Prophet ﷺ was as such. He did not show something extraordinary, to protect himself. He did not fly, from Mecca to Medina. He did not, even though he did go to Jerusalem, previously. But all of those matters, they were taken, in the accustomed, the used matter that everyone is familiar with. And this is, perhaps we did not speak a lot in the first paragraph, about being our model, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This make him really the most perfect model of us. Because if you have a personality of a person like what they imagine of Superman, I cannot be Superman. Okay, but here you have in the Prophet all matters, done in the ordinary way. He used to get sick a lot, Sometimes he was hurted, he will feel hunger, he will do this and that. All of these matters, and this has been highlighted firstly by him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When some of the people around him or the companion, they say, "You are a prophet," you will get really angry. Why? Because even though, yes, he is prophet, but he was sent to us to follow his steps. Okay? And here when you have such an ordinary life, it makes it easy for all of us, to follow his steps. When you have someone, as I described before, as Superman or whatever, this will make it much more difficult on us. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ used to encourage people, to follow his steps, and whenever he has this statement by anyone, he will get really angry about it. Okay, why? Because one of his tasks was to set a practice to the way that all Muslims, they should go by it. And this is what we call a Sunnah Nabawiyyah al-Mutahhara. So here, his lineage was at the top. I'm sorry, I heard that day, a recording, that his family was not equal, to Bani Makhzum or Umayyad at that time, I completely reject this, This was said by some people during the time of the Prophet ﷺ and was rejected and condemned. Okay? Here, to have such a statement, if you have scientific proof for it, I may keep myself silent, even though but if you don't have any proof for it, it's not good to be said about it. Okay? I heard it in some recording, about Sirah. He mentioned that after Abdul Muttalib, Banu Hashim, they were not equal to Bani. This is against the statements that you hear from those people. The statement from Abu Jahl, the statement from Abu Sufyan, and the other was completely opposite to this. Just I wanted to pay your attention about it, because this, I heard it here by an English speaker, speaking about the seerah of the Prophet ﷺ, and he said the family was not equal. This is completely wrong. It was at the top. And I should bring this story perhaps. When the Prophet ﷺ was in Mecca, he used to spend the night reciting the Quran and praying. And three of the most famous leaders, of Quraysh, they used to spend the night outside the house listening to the Prophet ﷺ recitation. Namely, they were Abu Jahl, Abu Sufyan, and Akhnas ibn Shurayh. And after 3 nights, consecutive night of spending the whole night, listening to the Prophet ﷺ, Abu Jahl, his description was, we are not going to follow him. We have a serious competition with Bani Abd Manaf. They are generous, we are generous. They are fluent, we are fluent. Then they said, we have a prophet. From where we are going to bring a prophet? Okay. And this tells us that they were almost, according to his statement, they were almost equal. No gap. Okay, and that's what I'm like. So here, the lineage of the Prophet ﷺ from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the best one, because as I narrated, as I recited in the Holy Quran and the Holy Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, and this was well known for the people in that time. I cannot deny some of them after many years, they said that the family of the Prophet ﷺ, they are not as such, and this was rejected, by the Prophet ﷺ. For sure, the Prophet ﷺ is not liar, when he rejected, not because when I try to defend my family or to show my position, the Prophet ﷺ is not interested in these matters, When he defend this, or he rejected it, that's mean this is the reality, because it's the most truthful. Then for 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, for sure this is very dear memory for all of us. I should highlight that it was Monday and in Rabi' al-Awwal, but the 12th, you have some controversy about it. Okay, the date, the exact date of it, you have some controversy. We have as a habit nowadays to have it on 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal. To be honest with you, I don't like this idea. We should have it at least in the whole month, okay, and even in the whole year, no problem about it. You have it only in 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal. But for those who start to begin this practice, it's a good idea to have it in 12th of Rabi' al-Awwal, because this has been the habit, of the Muslim, in general. Okay. Here, what I would like to highlight, and this is mentioned in the Seerah, some of the Seerah book, and even it's originated from the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of His kindness and mercy and being nice, whenever He wants to have a major event, He's going to send signs before. I look at these signals as preparation. What do you recite in Quran? You recite Surah Al-Fil, Alam Tara Kayfa. This is a major event, extraordinary one, took place before the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. Okay? Then you have in the hadith, the sound hadith, when the Prophet ﷺ said, "Oh Ya Rasulullah, tell us about yourself." He said, "I am da'watu Abi Ibrahim." Yani the dua of Sayyidina Ibrahim that you read in Surah Al-Baqarah. In verse number 29 in Surah Al-Baqarah, رَبَّنَا وَبَعَثْ فِيهِمْ رَسُولًا مِّنْهُمْ يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِكَ. That this dua, while they were building the Holy Kaaba, Sayyidina Ibrahim and his son Ismail, they made this dua. So, the Prophet ﷺ said, "I am the dua of Sayyidina Ibrahim." This to attach it to Holy Quran. وَبُشْرَى أَخِي عِيسَى. And even Sayyidina Isa, my brother, Jesus, Sayyidina Isa, he gave the good news about me. وَمُبَشِّرًا بِرَسُولٍ يَأْتِي بَعْدِ اسْمُهُ أَحْمَدَ. This is in the verse number 6 in Surah As-Saff. Again, Sayyidina Isa. And then he mentioned something extraordinary happened during his birth. He said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and when my mother delivered me, or had the delivery, she did see a light come from her, and she was able to recognize and see the palaces of Syria. For sure, this is, in our time, it's not an ordinary light, We don't have nowadays a light, which go all the way to Syria, and this is, I myself, this is the way I understand it. When I recite Surah Al-Fil, when I recite this hadith, that many of those signals, they took place, before and during and shortly after the birth of the Prophet ﷺ. Some of them mention the Quran, some of them mention the authentic or sound hadith. Many of them, they are mentioned in very weak or fake hadith. Okay, but what I'm going to give as an idea, that those signals were done, by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a heavy way as a preparation to the major event of his birth, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, and that's why you look at the people, surrounding this, namely his mother, his grandfather, later on his wife, Sayyidah Khadija. They were well prepared. They have some background, about what's going on. Okay, and this was quite helpful for these people, and this is the help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because just imagine it in our simple life, nowadays, if we have some major dramatic changes, most of us will not tolerate it. And this is out of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, made this preparation. Okay? So again, I may not, here, I should have the common look that these are the preparation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These may be called in English miracles or extraordinary. They were not done by any person. These are sent from Allah for as a signal of the birth of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The detailed one of them, I'm quite confident and sure about